In the heart of East Africa lies a place of breathtaking scale and timeless beauty. It is a land known to its oldest inhabitants as Serengeti, which means the place where the land runs on forever. We know it today as the Serengeti. This vast ecosystem stretches across northern Tanzania, a seemingly endless expanse of savanna, woodland, and riverine forests. It is a world that has remained largely unchanged for millennia, a living testament to the raw, untamed power of nature. Here, the drama of life and death unfolds every single day under the vast, open African sky. It is one of the last great wildlife refuges on our planet, a sanctuary where nature's rhythms continue, as they have for eons. The Serengeti is famous across the globe for good reason. It hosts the largest terrestrial mammal migration in the world, a spectacle of such immense proportions that it is difficult to comprehend. Millions of animals embark on a perilous journey, driven by ancient instincts and the search for fresh grazing and water. But the Serengeti is more than just this incredible event. It is a complete and thriving ecosystem, home to an astonishing diversity of life. Lions, leopards, elephants, and rhinos share this land with countless other species, each playing a vital role in a complex web of existence. It is a place that captures the imagination, a window into a world that existed long before us. When one stands on a rocky outcrop, or a kopje, and looks out across the plains, the sheer immensity of the landscape is humbling. The grasslands shimmer under the equatorial sun, dotted with the distinctive flat-topped acacia trees that have become a symbol of the African savanna. The air is filled with the sounds of the wild, the distant roar of a lion, the chatter of birds, the gentle rustle of the wind through the tall grass. This is not just a park, it is a living, breathing entity. Every plant, every animal, every drop of rain contributes to its delicate balance. To visit the Serengeti is to feel a connection to the very pulse of the earth itself. For many, the Serengeti represents the very essence of Africa. It is the Africa of our dreams, a place of adventure, discovery, and profound natural beauty. It has inspired filmmakers, writers, scientists, and travelers for generations. Its importance, however, extends far beyond our admiration. The Serengeti is a crucial stronghold for biodiversity, a natural laboratory for studying ecology, and a vital source of life and income for the people who live alongside it. Understanding its history, its challenges, and its triumphs is essential if we are to ensure that these endless plains continue to thrive for generations to come, a precious inheritance for the entire world. Long before the Serengeti was designated a park, it was home to a remarkable people, the Maasai. For centuries, these semi-nomadic pastoralists have lived in harmony with the vast plains and the wildlife that roams them. Their lives are intricately woven into the fabric of this land, a relationship built on deep respect and ancient tradition. The Maasai do not see the wilderness as something to be conquered or tamed, but as a shared space, a provider of all that is needed for life. Their cattle, which are central to their culture and economy, graze alongside herds of wildebeest and zebra, a testament to a long history of coexistence. They are the original custodians of this extraordinary place. Life for the Maasai is guided by the seasons and the needs of their precious herds. They move across the landscape in search of fresh pasture and water, following patterns that have been passed down through countless generations. Their traditional homes, known as bomas, are circular enclosures built from local materials, designed to protect both people and livestock from predators at night. Within this community, every person has a role, from the young boys who tend to the calves to the elders who hold the wisdom of their ancestors. Their culture is rich with ceremony, song, and storytelling, all of which reinforce their deep connection to the natural world and their place within it. The Maasai's relationship with wildlife is complex and profound. Unlike agricultural communities, they did not clear the land for crops, which allowed the natural savanna ecosystem to flourish. They traditionally hunted lions, not for sport, but as a rite of passage for young warriors, a demonstration of bravery to protect their community and their cattle. However, they held a deep understanding of the delicate balance of their environment. They knew which plants had medicinal properties, how to read the signs of changing weather, and how to live alongside dangerous animals with a mixture of caution and reverence. This was not a life of conflict with nature, but one of intimate understanding. Today, the Maasai continue to live on the borders of the Serengeti, their lives forever linked to the park. While their traditional way of life has faced many challenges and changes, their cultural identity remains strong. They are a proud and resilient people, adapting to the modern world while striving to hold on to the traditions that have defined them for centuries. Their ancient wisdom about the land, the wildlife, and sustainable living is more valuable than ever. They are not just a part of the Serengeti's history, they are a vital part of its present and its future, a living link to the soul of the endless plains. The late 19th and early 20th centuries brought profound changes to the Serengeti. European explorers, missionaries, and administrators began to arrive in East Africa, drawn by tales of adventure and the continent's rich resources. They saw the vast herds of wildlife not as part of a balanced ecosystem, but as a source of sport and trophies. The concept of big game hunting became popular, and the Serengeti's abundant animal populations were seen as limitless. This new perspective marked a dramatic shift from the Maasai's traditional way of life, introducing a different, more exploitative relationship between humans and the natural world in this region. This was the beginning of a new chapter for the Serengeti. As hunting activities increased, some observers began to grow concerned. The sheer number of animals being killed was alarming, and there was a growing realization that this incredible natural treasure could be lost forever if nothing was done to protect it. Early conservationists, many of whom were former hunters themselves, started to advocate for the creation of protected areas. They recognized the unique value of the Serengeti ecosystem and argued that it should be preserved for future generations. This was a new idea, the notion of setting aside vast tracts of land purely for the sake of wildlife, and it began to gain momentum among colonial authorities. This growing conservation movement led to a landmark decision in 1929. A portion of the central Serengeti was designated as a game reserve. This was the first official step towards safeguarding the region's wildlife. The reserve placed restrictions on hunting, aiming to control the exploitation that had become so widespread. It was a crucial turning point in the Serengeti's history, marking the formal beginning of its journey towards becoming a world-renowned sanctuary. The initial reserve was smaller than the park we know today, but it laid the essential groundwork for the much larger conservation efforts that would follow in the coming decades. The final decisive step came in 1951, when the Serengeti National Park was officially established. This elevated its status from a reserve to a fully protected national park, providing much stronger legal safeguards for its landscapes and its inhabitants. The creation of the park was a monumental achievement in the history of global conservation. It enshrined the principle that this unique wilderness was a heritage for all of humanity and deserved the highest level of protection. While the process involved difficult decisions, including the relocation of resident Maasai communities outside the new park's boundaries, it set the Serengeti on the path to becoming the icon of wildlife preservation it is today. In the early days of its protected status, the Serengeti attracted a very specific type of visitor. These were often wealthy adventurers from Europe and America, drawn by the thrill of the big game hunt. The safari of that era was a rugged and often dangerous expedition, focused on tracking and hunting the so-called Big Five lion, leopard, rhinoceros, elephant, and buffalo. It was an activity rooted in colonial attitudes, a test of courage and a way to acquire impressive trophies. These early safaris established the Serengeti's reputation as a premier wildlife destination, but it was a reputation built on a relationship of conflict and conquest, rather than observation and appreciation. As the 20th century progressed, a significant shift began to occur in public perception. The burgeoning conservation movement, coupled with a growing appreciation for the natural world, started to change how people wanted to experience the wild. The idea of shooting animals with a rifle began to be replaced by the desire to capture them with a camera. The photo safari was born, and it revolutionized tourism in the Serengeti. Visitors discovered that the thrill of capturing a perfect image of a lioness with her cubs, or a leopard resting in a tree, was just as exciting and far more rewarding than hunting. The focus shifted from taking a life to capturing a moment. This evolution from hunting to photography had a profound impact on the Serengeti and its wildlife. It meant that the animals were now more valuable alive than dead. A single lion, for instance, could be photographed by thousands of tourists over its lifetime, generating far more income for the park and local economy than it ever could as a hunting trophy. This new form of tourism created a powerful economic incentive for conservation. Protecting the animals and their habitats was no longer just an ethical choice. It became a sound financial strategy, ensuring the long-term sustainability of the tourism industry that was beginning to flourish in the region. The modern safari experience in the Serengeti is the culmination of this incredible transformation. Today, visitors travel from all corners of the globe armed not with guns, but with binoculars and cameras. They come to witness the marvels of the Great Migration, to watch a cheetah sprint across the plains, or to simply sit in silence and absorb the immense beauty of the landscape. The safari has become a journey of discovery, education, and connection. It allows people to see these magnificent creatures in their natural environment, fostering a deep sense of wonder and a powerful commitment to ensuring their survival for the future. For the Serengeti to welcome the growing number of tourists interested in photo safaris, it needed to become more accessible. In the mid-20th century, visiting the park was still a major undertaking, requiring long and arduous journeys over rough terrain. To unlock the potential of tourism, infrastructure had to be developed. This began with the creation of a network of roads within the park. These were not paved highways, but rather dirt tracks carefully carved into the landscape, designed to provide access to key areas while minimizing the impact on the environment. These roads allowed safari vehicles to navigate the vast plains, bringing visitors closer to the wildlife than ever before. Alongside the development of roads, another crucial element was the construction of places for visitors to stay. The first safari lodges and tented camps began to appear, offering a comfortable base from which to explore the wilderness. These early lodges were often rustic, but they provided essential amenities like shelter, food, and safety. They were strategically located to offer stunning views and prime access to wildlife hotspots. The establishment of these lodges marked a significant step in making the Serengeti a viable tourist destination, transforming it from a place for hardy explorers into a place that could be enjoyed by a wider range of international travelers. As tourism continued to grow, so did the sophistication of the infrastructure. Small airstrips were built within or near the park, allowing visitors to fly in directly from cities like Arusha, dramatically cutting down on travel time. This made a Serengeti safari possible for those with less time, further broadening its appeal. The development of reliable communication systems and vehicle maintenance facilities also played a vital role. All these elements worked together to create a support system that made tourism safer, more efficient, and more enjoyable, laying the foundation for the world-class destination the Serengeti has become. This development was a careful balancing act. The goal was to make the park accessible without destroying the very wilderness that people came to see. Park authorities and lodge operators had to think carefully about the placement of roads, the design of buildings, and the management of waste. The challenge was, and still is, to build bridges to the wild for people, without creating barriers for wildlife. The infrastructure of the Serengeti is more than just roads and buildings. It is the physical framework that supports the delicate relationship between tourism and conservation, allowing people to experience this natural wonder in a sustainable way. In recent decades, a new philosophy has taken root in the Serengeti, one that seeks to create a more positive and sustainable form of travel ecotourism. This is more than just visiting a natural area. It is about traveling responsibly in a way that conserves the environment and improves the well-being of local people. Ecotourism in the Serengeti is founded on the principle that the future of the park and the prosperity of the surrounding communities are deeply interconnected. It moves beyond simply observing wildlife to actively contributing to its protection and to the welfare of the people who live alongside it, like the Maasai. One of the core components of ecotourism is its focus on minimizing environmental impact. New safari lodges and camps are now often designed with sustainability in mind. They use solar power for electricity, practice careful water conservation, and implement robust recycling and waste management programs. They are built with natural, locally sourced materials that blend into the landscape. By reducing their carbon footprint and preserving the pristine nature of their surroundings, these operations ensure that the beauty of the Serengeti is not diminished by the very act of visiting it. This approach demonstrates that tourism can be a force for environmental good. Crucially, ecotourism is also about creating genuine benefits for local communities. Many lodges and tour operators now make a conscious effort to hire staff from nearby villages, providing stable jobs and valuable training in hospitality, guiding, and park management. They purchase fresh produce and handcrafted goods from local suppliers, ensuring that tourist dollars flow directly into the local economy. Furthermore, A portion of park fees and tourism revenues is often channeled into community development projects, such as building schools, health clinics, and clean water systems. This creates a direct link between a healthy ecosystem and an improved quality of life for the people. This model transforms local people from passive neighbors of the park into active partners in its conservation. When communities see tangible benefits from tourism, when they see that a living elephant or a thriving lion pride brings jobs and income, they become the most passionate defenders of wildlife. Ecotourism empowers them to protect their own natural heritage. It fosters a sense of ownership and pride, reinforcing the traditional Maasai value of living in harmony with nature. It is a powerful model that shows how humanity and wildlife can not only coexist, but also mutually benefit from a relationship based on respect and shared purpose. At the very heart of the Serengeti's fame is an event of almost unimaginable scale and drama, the Great Migration. This is not simply a journey, it is the largest overland migration of mammals on Earth, a relentless circular pilgrimage driven by the most fundamental forces of nature. Every year, over 1.5 million wildebeest, accompanied by hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, embark on a 1,000-kilometer trek across the Serengeti ecosystem. They are in constant search of fresh green grass which sprouts in the wake of the seasonal rains. This ancient rhythm dictates the pulse of life across the endless plains. The journey is a cycle with no true beginning or end. It often begins on the southern Serengeti plains, where, in the early months of the year, the wildebeest give birth to hundreds of thousands of calves in a matter of weeks. This synchronized birthing provides safety in numbers from the many predators that gather for the feast. As the southern plains dry up, the herds are forced to move north and west towards the Grumeti and Mara rivers. This is where the migration reaches its most dramatic climax. The herds must cross these crocodile-infested waters, a life-or-death struggle that has become one of the most iconic spectacles in the natural world. The importance of the Great Migration to the Serengeti ecosystem cannot be overstated. It is the engine that drives the entire food web. The immense herds graze the plains, which stimulates new grass growth. Their droppings fertilize the soil, enriching the land. They are the primary food source for the Serengeti's large predator population, including lions, hyenas, and leopards, whose own life cycles are timed to the movement of the herds. Even the crocodiles in the rivers depend on this annual bounty. The migration is a massive transfer of energy, connecting different parts of the ecosystem and sustaining a breathtaking diversity of life. For the people of the Serengeti region, the migration is also a vital economic lifeline. It is the main attraction that draws tourists from all over the world, creating the jobs and revenue that support local communities and fund conservation efforts. The predictability of the migration's route allows tour operators to plan safaris and lodges to cater to visitors eager to witness this incredible event. In this way, the ancient journey of the wildebeest directly supports the modern human economy, forging another powerful link between the well-being of wildlife and the prosperity of people. It is a perfect example of nature's power to sustain both itself and us. The growth of tourism in the Serengeti has brought about a profound transformation in the lives of the Maasai and other local communities living on its borders. For generations, their economies were based almost entirely on livestock. Today, the safari industry offers a new and vital source of income, creating opportunities that were previously unimaginable. The most direct impact is through employment. National parks, safari lodges, and tour companies are now major employers in the region, offering jobs as guides, drivers, mechanics, chefs, and camp staff. These jobs provide a stable salary, which helps families pay for education, healthcare, and better housing. Beyond direct employment, tourism creates a ripple effect throughout the local economy. A thriving lodge needs a constant supply of fresh vegetables, meat, and other goods, creating a market for local farmers. Maasai women, renowned for their intricate beadwork, can sell their beautiful jewelry and crafts directly to tourists at cultural bomas or lodge gift shops. This not only provides an independent source of income, but also helps to preserve and promote their rich artistic traditions. This economic integration ensures that the benefits of tourism are spread more widely, empowering communities to build a more prosperous and self-sufficient future. This new economy has also had a significant cultural impact. It has encouraged a younger generation of Maasai to see their own culture as a valuable asset. Being a guide, for example, requires a deep knowledge of the local environment, animal behavior, and Maasai traditions, knowledge that is passed down through generations. Tourists are often deeply interested in learning about the Maasai way of life, and this has fostered a renewed sense of cultural pride. It provides a platform for the Maasai to share their stories and their unique perspective on the world, bridging the gap between ancient traditions and the modern global community. Of course, this relationship is not without its challenges. It is a delicate balance to ensure that tourism supports, rather than erodes, traditional culture. However, when managed thoughtfully, it can create a powerful synergy. The money from tourism helps fund community projects chosen by the people themselves, and the interaction with visitors can foster mutual respect and understanding. Ultimately, tourism has provided a new path for the Maasai, one that allows them to benefit from the preservation of their ancestral lands. It has made them key stakeholders in conservation, ensuring they have a voice in shaping the future of the Serengeti. The story of the Serengeti is a powerful reminder of the intricate connections that bind us to the natural world. It is a story of a timeless landscape, of remarkable wildlife, and of the people whose lives are woven into its very fabric. The journey from a traditional Maasai homeland through a period of colonial hunting to its current status as a global icon of conservation has been long and complex. Today, the Serengeti stands as a testament to what can be achieved when we recognize that protecting nature is not separate from supporting human communities, but is in fact essential for it. The future of this magnificent place depends on nurturing the delicate balance between conservation and community. The cooperation between park authorities, tourism partners, and local people is the cornerstone of its success. When Maasai communities benefit from tourism, they become the most committed guardians of the wildlife. When visitors travel responsibly, they contribute to a sustainable model that protects the environment. This collaborative approach ensures that the Serengeti is not just an isolated island of wilderness, but an integrated ecosystem where both people and animals can thrive side by side, each benefiting the other. There are, of course, ongoing challenges. Climate change, population growth, and the demand for land all place pressure on the borders of the park. Poaching, though reduced, remains a constant threat that requires vigilance. Protecting the Great Migration routes, which extend beyond the park's official boundaries, requires cooperation across different regions and land uses. These challenges demand constant innovation, dedication, and a shared commitment from everyone involved, from the international community to the local village elder. The work of protecting the Serengeti is never truly finished. It is an ongoing promise we must renew every day. In the end, the Serengeti teaches us a profound lesson about our place on this planet. It shows us that wild places are not just beautiful to look at, they are essential for the health of the earth and for the human spirit. They are a source of life, a source of wonder, and a source of wisdom. By working together to protect this incredible ecosystem, we are not just saving lions and wildebeest, we are preserving a vital part of our own global heritage. The Serengeti's endless plains must continue to run on forever, a symbol of hope and a shining example of how humanity can and must live in harmony with nature.